Today marks 1620th day of daily lessons, day reflections. And today we want to reflect about unpredictability. And this is such an important topic. And I wanted to reflect on this topic because yesterday one of my family members went to ICU. And of course, during this kind of moment, immediately you think about unpredictability of life. You never know that. Sometimes you have think about, okay, what will happen in a week. You have no idea what happened in a week. What happened even in a day, you don't know. Sometimes even what happens in a couple hours. Sometimes mistakes happen. Sometimes things happen that you never predicted that could potentially happen. If we plan, you live for those plans, you have a direction, but then something unpredictable happen and things change. Today we'll share seven things that I wrote down about unpredictability in life that is very, very important regarding personal growth, regarding moving to the right direction. So, number one is unpredictability doesn't just affect outcomes, it erodes identity. And it's interesting that sometimes when we think about we pursue a direction, you are disciplined, you're consistent, and outcomes didn't came up to be. And it hurts not really not achieving the outcome. Is a lot of times it hurts the most that you thought you are a certain person, but and you tell the story to this certain person, but because you didn't achieve your outcome that you were pursuing, now identity suffers because you tell one story, but unpredictable things happen in your life and that pushed you away from the outcome. And now, because of that, you start to believe that you're not that kind of person. And that's a risky place to be in because that unpredictability that pushed you away from the outcome that you wanted, that pushed away from identity that you thought you are, is a lot of times too small of a data point to really to assume things. And that's unfortunately what happens is sometimes one person has one big failure. One failure. And that's on that one failure they start to identify with that failure. It's such an interesting thing. When you think about statistics, one of the one is not stat. If you flip the coin and then it's tails, now if you always believe it will be tails, no, it'll be other side, and then both sides will come at the same. Sometimes, sometimes will come one, so other one another time, but sometimes it could be that the tails comes twice or three times in a row, or four times in a row, but at some point heads will show up. And sometimes in success is similar. Unpredictable things make it sometimes based on luck as well, not just on your discipline and consistency and performance. Number two, the real risk isn't house, it's demand for certainty. So house is a lot of times our friend, but we're afraid of uncertainty, unpredictability. We want predicament. We want to be certain. For example, we potentially could stay in a job much, much longer than needed. And that's a failure. Because we do not want to move in unpredictability, to uncertainty. We want to stay in predictable job. And it could be in the same with relationships. And sometimes we can exit a great business for too early as well. All this business is too unpredictable, too uncertain, so I will move towards certainty, towards predictability. But that's again, house is sometimes your friend because house could potentially lead to very good outcomes, while predictability potentially could lead to just mediocre outcomes. Number three, you're consistently overfitting your life in a time. Oh, this I already mentioned that, but you are constantly overfitting your life into a tiny sample. So what it means is that you worked on one strategy and it worked. And now you say that this strategy works. It might be that it worked only for this specific situation. Or maybe something didn't work. Now you immediately disregard the strategy, even though that it didn't work for unpredictable reasons. And I think that we're supposed to always try the strategy for a couple of times before you're able to say that this strategy doesn't work or this strategy works. Because I think that we too fast in labeling strategies, people, ourselves based on very, very small sample size. And we need to really increase the sample size just to make sure that we're able to say if it works or not. Good decision or bad decision. Number four, optionality beats optimization in unstable environments. And this is what I needed to learn in the past as well. Because I always used to be about optimizing, 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 even to the level that was unhealthy in the season that I was. I was in an extremely unstable environment. And I want to create optimization in an unstable environment. And it seems you create optimize things and then things change unpredictably because that's what the season that I was. And then again, you try to optimize it, you work to optimize things, and then again, things change. And I was just in never ending optimization. But optionality, what is better because it really says that I will work with what is given in the season of my life. So that you're looking to how to become more flexible, how to be more curious, how to really be able to really adjust, how to really fastly recover. You're looking to how to be optional, not optimize things. And I think that is a beautiful thing. So optionality is for unpredictability. Optimization is for predictability. So we can sometimes ask you which season I am in. If my life is extremely predictable, okay, let's work on optimization. If my life is extremely unpredictable right now, maybe I could look into optional things. Maybe even develop optional skills. Maybe develop optional things that is needed, potentially could be needed in a next season, next um, task, next activity, next direction that you will need to move. Number five, the longer the timeline, the less linear anything becomes. So it means when you think about okay, like today, like what I need to do, even though there is a chance of unpredictability, still it most likely is very linear effort, outcome, effort, outcome. But when you look into expanding that horizon and you look into effort and outcome, when you look into 20 years, and unpredictability is massive. And that unpredictability compounds because one could lead to another, other thing they could another. So at that moment we need to understand that even though that we made that direction, we made that vision, and we'll need most likely we'll need to adjust our paths just to get there because of unpredictable events, and you need to be okay with that. And most likely you know that okay, that was not straight line, and if not straight line will not clean success. And most likely when you say okay, I will achieve this success within 5 years, it might be that it will be 8 because of those unpredictable results or unpredictable actions or unpredictable things that will come to your life. And that's supposed to be okay. Number six, most people are destroyed not by events, but by second order effects. Second order effects. What do I mean by that? This is extremely important lesson because I know that it is difficult sometimes. When you pursue something with all your heart and you fail, and you fail. What happens second time when you try to pursue something with all your heart? There is self-doubt kick in. Maybe it will not work out but as last time. That memory at that moment sometimes is not useful because that one is too small a data point as we discussed to really label yourself certain way. But it means if you failed, sometimes we can our identity of success could be collapsing. We can if you rejected when you wanted to approach someone and you got rejected, maybe now you will start to think if you want to approach other person, maybe you will be rejected again. So that means that when something terrible, unpredictable potentially happen, you might be that will be hesitant to do the same thing. And that is the most risky part. Number seven, the last thing that I want to mention is there is no arrival point where unpredictable stops mattering. There's no arrival point where unpredictable stop mattering. Unpredictable is always the case. That's why even when I used to be auditor, when I used to audit companies, financial auditor, I used to always read their reports where they have a prepared. I even forgot the name, but it was like a business continuity report where they explain what they will do if unpredictable events happens. Maybe they have a major client, and if that major client bankrupts, what they will do, so that they are really preparing a report what they will do when something unpredictable happens. And I think that sometimes in our life we need to have that kind of report as well, a life continuity plan. If my job, I got fired, what I would do then? If my business fails, what will I do then? If I lost relations, what will we do then? If I lose this one, what would it will do then? How I will continue life in a most positive way. And that means at that moment, I think that even interesting, I never did it, but now I just thought about it. Such an interesting thing. You write a life continuity plan, and then some unpredictable things happen. And of course, the list that you will have in that plan will not be ultimate. So there are so many things that would come up that you never thought about. But I think that will give some sense of security as well as stability, even though you live in house, but you have stability because you thought about it, you reflected on it, you became more aware of it, you know exactly what you potentially could do, how you could be more resourceful about the things that are happening in your life. That's a beautiful idea. Never thought about it, but maybe I will do that as well. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.